Hello and welcome to another edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Right off the bat on today's show, let's talk a little bit about motorsport. In fact, let's talk about the World Rally Championship. Now, if you don't know what WRC is, these are basically full-blown race cars that race on public roads, closed-off public roads, that are called stages. And your cumulative time over the several stages for whatever rally that you're actually running becomes your time, and if you're the quickest of all those, you are actually the winner. These cars actually have a driver and a co-driver as well. The co-driver is actually, well, maybe a little bit lower tech version of a sat-nav system, which basically tells you what the corners are coming up in the stage itself, so you can take it at maximum attack, if you will. It's a fantastic motorsport, extremely fun to watch. And in fact, 2017 has got an interesting deal. In fact, it's been since the 1980s have we seen 4 different drivers in 4 different cars take the wins in the first 4 rallies of the season. And we're going to go through those one by one, but let's talk a little bit about the 2017 car, because the 2017 regulations have really opened up the book. In fact, there's active center differentials, there's a lot more aero work with a lot more downforce, the cars are wider, they're meaner, a lot more power. It harkens back to the old Group B days. In fact, the most dangerous time when it was in rallying. But these cars have been pretty doggone good so far and very, very intriguing. In fact, when I tuned into Rally Monte Carlo, my biggest interest was who is going to be the big front runner now that Volkswagen had stepped out, because much like Formula One, the WRC has run in somewhat of an era, as we just came out of the Volkswagen era with many championships won by Sebastian Ogier. And then you can think back to the Citroën era with Sebastian Loeb. That was a long period of time. I think it was like 6, 7, 8 years. There was also the era of Peugeot with Marcus Grönholm. Then you can even think back way back in the day with Tommy Mäkinen and the Mitsubishi Group. There was a bunch of different manufacturers, and they really strung out a bunch of wins and a bunch of championships all in a row. So I was anxiously waiting for Rally Monte Carlo to see, now that Volkswagen's gone, who's the best of the rest was actually going to be. And then we fire off Rally Monte Carlo and Sebastian Ogier, ex-Volkswagen factory driver, who moves over to Ford and M Sport, driving the brand new Fiesta WRC car. Actually just took right off where he left off in 2016 by winning Rally Monte Carlo. Now, Monte Carlo is a crapshoot because you never know what the conditions are going to be like. You can run on totally dry pavement, wet pavement, snow-covered pavement, even ice-covered pavement, and that can all be in consecutive corners. And if you don't have very good pace notes going into those corners, you can slide off very easily and end your rally altogether. In fact, that's actually what took place in this particular go-round, because there was another driver who was dominating the rally, and thanks to a very small mental error, crashed out of the 2017 Rally Monte Carlo, handing over the win to M Sport and Sebastian Ogier. It's the first time for M Sport and Ford to win in many, many years, so it was a big coup for that group to actually do it, especially because they had Bill Ford on the sidelines to watch the rally, who actually now has promised more money to the team coming up next year. So Rally Monte Carlo's in the books. The same championship winner of 2016 is the front runner now. But is that M Sport car going to be the big gun when we move on to Rally Sweden? Well, no doubt Sebastian Ogier was there, but the same driver that was dominating Rally Monte Carlo was dominating Rally Sweden in the early going before he crashed out. Now, Sweden is also a very distinct rally, as it's all snow-covered. At least, well, I think of one way back in the day that we didn't get much snow, but mainly because this is all snow-covered, it's vastly different than most other rallies that are run, because a lot of the drivers claim that with the studded tires, you actually have more traction than when you're on gravel. But it was an interesting rally nonetheless, with that same driver crashing out late, handing over another ex-Volkswagen factory driver, that being Jari-Matti, matching him into the championship lead with his brand new Gazoo Racing Toyota Yaris, with team principal, the aforementioned Tommy Mäkinen. That was the first time in 17 years that Toyota's actually made a win in the World Rally Championship. And to do it in the second ever rally of the season was a huge coup for this team, because this team is at great pace over the first 2 rallies of the season, really showing off that they have done their homework and done it well. But then we move on to the first gravel rally of the season, which is primarily the surface of choice when it comes to rallying. So it was really interesting to see who's going to be the big front runner on gravel. And the brand new Citroen C3 with Chris Meek at the wheel was the front runner. In fact, he won almost wire to wire. It was a hugely impressive win, even though he tried to throw the car off the road on the power stage. And if you haven't seen the video of this deal, when the car goes off the road into a car park, luckily didn't hit anybody, but got lost in there, and he had a near 40-second lead that dwindled down next to nothing to still win that particular rally. But definitely the C3 has amazing pace on gravel and might show very, very well for the rest of the season. Again, 3 different drivers, 3 different manufacturers in the first 3 rallies. And we move on to the 4th rally, and we've got another new winner, even though that Citroen C3 and Chris Meek over the first 3 or 4 stages of the rally dominated. Absolutely the fastest thing out there. And this is the first ever tarmac rally for the year, that being there in Rally France. And it was kind of a devastating deal for Mr. Meek, actually, to blow an engine in the back part of one of the stages. Ended up killing the car altogether, meaning the car couldn't even continue on, even in Super Rally. So that handed over the win to a guy who wasn't even in the front runnings in Friday's stages, that being Thierry Neuville. Now, Thierry had actually had some pretty rough times in the first stages. Not as bad as he had in Rally Monte Carlo and Rally Sweden, because this was the guy who was dominating those 2 rallies. In fact, I may not even have done this video if he won Rally Monte Carlo and Rally Sweden, even though I might have just talking about Hyundai's and their new i20's dominance. But Mr. Neuville actually came back in stages on Saturday and Sunday and absolutely dominated. Tore through the field, one of the quickest guys out there, no doubt, and did an impressive rally. So there you have it. 4 different manufacturers, 4 different drivers in the first 4 rallies of the season. It's a hugely impressive start to the brand new season, the season WRC for 2017. So if you haven't watched rallying, you got just a handful of days before Rally Argentina fires off. In fact, it's the back half of April of 2017. You can check out the next go-round for the World Rally Championship. And if you're staring at me thinking, you know what, they don't show rallying where I live. You know what, they don't show it here in the United States either. But guess what? Somebody's got your back, and it's Red Bull TV. You can actually get this app for your smartphone, your tablet, your computer, heck, even your smart TV, or even your gaming console. And right there, streamed over the internet, Red Bull TV will show you all the WRC action you would want. They do a pretty doggone good job of it, not to mention thousands upon thousands of hours of other content, not only motorsports, but all the other Red Bull lifestyle stuff that they've got going on out there. It's a pretty cool little app, and it's totally free. You can check out WRC Rally Argentina. You can actually go back and watch all the other rallies up till then, because it was a pretty fun time. And that's all there was that I thought was worth talking about for this edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts, who's kind of a commercial for Red Bull TV. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, you can do so at any time, and you can get the first dibs on the brand new shows as soon as they come out. Also, don't forget to like us over on the Facebook page. We update that thing every day, twice a day, with all the news that actually doesn't make the show, so you can check out stuff over there. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again real soon.